Hi, it's Susie with another quick exercise tip. Now, because it is April and we do have April Falls, which is all about falls prevention, today's tip is around balance. Now, there are lots of different components of balance, and what we're going to focus on a little bit more today is on the balance and strength side of things. So our body has information from all of the joints that help to determine our position and allows our body to understand when it's going outside of its base of control and when we're likely to fall. This information is then used by the brain to determine which muscles need to be active to try and keep us upright and steady. So we're going to test two things today. We're going to have a look at two of the hip muscles, which are really important for our walking stability and also for our ability to pivot and lean and reach. Okay, so all you'll need, if you have a metronome handy, which most people don't, you can use that. However, if you choose a song that has a recognizable beat, and it's a consistent beat, not too fast, roughly sort of 20 to 30 beats per minute or thereabouts, you can use that instead. And you'll need a wall. You'll need something like, I've used masking tape, but you could use a post-it note and a chair for support. And that's all that we need aside from a little bit of space. So what you want to do first of all is you want to put a marking on the floor. I've got some tape here on the floor, and that's about 2 feet away from the wall. So just roughly measuring that. Now, the reason that we're measuring it is because we want consistency from side to side when we're testing to make sure that we do pick up those differences. Now, the other mark is going to go on the wall, and this one is halfway between the knee and the hip. Okay, so just putting that one on the wall there. Now, we'll start by using the marker on the floor to begin with, and I'll try and make sure that the chair doesn't block your view. What we're going to have a look at first is the stability or the endurance and strength of those muscles on the side of the hip area. So with the mark that we have, you're going to make sure that your standing leg is on the mark, and because we're looking at strengths and not so much at balance specifically, you can hold on to the chair for the entire time that you do this exercise. Just make sure that you're not leaning your body too much. So it's just for a bit of stability. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep my body upright. I'm going to put my music on, and then I'm going to count how many times I touch my foot directly to the side to the wall. Okay? So I want to make sure that I'm staying in time with the music. If we don't keep that nice and consistent, then we can't get a good test result. And I want to keep going until I either can't keep in time with the music because my muscles are fatigued, or I have to stop because I get any pain. Now you're going to count the number of repetitions on that side. And then what you're going to do is turn around and do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Using that same marker on the floor, using the chair for a bit of support, putting the music on and counting the number of repetitions and making sure that we're keeping to the beat as we're doing this. Now, we'd expect around a similar result. At a maximum, we want about 10% more, and that's usually through your dominant side. So 10% more is okay, but if we have more than that, that's indicating that we have a more significant side-to-side difference that we want to try and even up if we can by doing some single isolated leg exercises. Now, the next test is looking at our muscles on the front of the hips, and that helps with being able to lift the legs up. That's to try and avoid tripping, to be able to get up and down stairs a little bit easier, and also just for natural walking. So that's where our next marker comes into play. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to put that music on. We've got this chair in front for balance support as we need, and I'm going to try and raise my knee to at least the height of the tape in time with the music. Okay? Now, as long as we're keeping that nice consistent beat, we're counting the number of repetitions. We then repeat this on the opposite side, and again, that gives us a good comparison for the strength left to right. Okay, so we're repeating that test. And like with the side-to-side movement that we did, around 10% difference is about that absolute maximum that we want to see from side to side before we think we need to really work on the strength of those muscles independently. So let us know how you go in the comments, but I hope you've enjoyed today's tip. Stay safe, stay active, and I'll see you soon for another quick exercise tip.